The Assassin.
You know I break necks, call me Jack Tate. I have no regrets while your life is fading. I'm a crazy fuck equivalent to Satan. When I'm behind the mic, I feel like the greatest. You know I break necks, call me Jack Tate. I have no regrets while your life is fading. I'm a crazy fuck equivalent to Satan. When I'm behind the mic, I feel like the greatest.
What up, y'all? You're listening to Sports Talk with Tropp, and I'm your host, Katie Tropp. Well, before we get into things, I'm about to drop yet another music video for my single, Prophet's Path to Nowhere. But I did just drop a promo video for it over the weekend, so you could check that out on my website, katietropp.net, or you could check it out on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/katietropp. And I will be dropping that new music video next weekend, so be out on the lookout for it. So let's get right into the Tropp 10 MLB Power Rankings this week. The National League has actually taken a turn for the better for once this season. So far, the National League has pretty much been dominated by the Braves and, shockingly, the Diamondbacks, and then everybody else has just been pretty bad, including the Dodgers. It's hilarious how bad the Dodgers are this season. I mean, my Giants just kicked their asses, swept them right out of their own stadium this weekend. It wasn't even close either. There was one game we won, I think 15-0, 13-0, something crazy like that. But anyways, it's just been pretty bad for the National League because they've been on some really bad losing streaks. But a couple of teams have turned it around, and they've actually cracked the Tropp 10 this week. A couple of teams have also fallen out as well. Most notably, the Houston Astros. They've fallen out of the Tropp 10 this week just because they're in a downslide these past couple of weeks. But I mean, and Yordan Alvarez, losing him, that's a big blow to your team. But they just have had a down couple of weeks. So there's a couple other teams that have been excelling over them. And then, of course, the Yankees, they've also fallen out as well. They're dealing with the Aaron Judge injury and the Nestor Cortez injury. And this team's just not looking really good. They actually just got swept by the Red Sox this past weekend. And there's a couple of teams that have fallen out. Now, I don't expect those two teams to be circling the drain for a while, but they are down, and they have fallen out of the Tropp 10 this week, which has paved the way for a couple of new teams that I get to talk about this week, at least for 1 week. I don't know how long they're going to be sticking around, but let's get right to it with number one. Of course, remains the Tampa Bay Rays. They are actually the first team to hit 50 wins on the season. Their overall record right now is 51-24. They are also having a down couple of weeks. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took the series against the Oakland A's, but they lost the series to the San Diego Padres. So they did have a down week, but I mean, overall, this team is still rock solid. Shane McClanahan, still the best pitcher in the league at this point. Leads the league with 11 wins, leads the league with the lowest ERA at 2.12. And then he's also got 97 strikeouts on the season. Randy Arozarena is just continuing his excellent season with his bat. And Yandy Diaz, he's also having a great season as well. So the Rays, they continue to look pretty solid, even though they've had a pretty bad week, at least. But they're still number one, and they were the first team to 50 wins. So they are continuing to look like the best team in the league right now. Then at number two on my Tropp 10 MLB Power Rankings, the Atlanta Braves. Overall record of 46-26. They are 8-2 in their last 10 games. They're pretty much one of the hottest teams in the league right now. This past week, they took the series against the Detroit Tigers and absolutely dominated the Colorado Rockies. They swept them. They just are really getting it done in so many different ways. Ronald Acuna Jr., he is having an MVP type season so far. He is just having a great season defensively, and that's excellent for him just because he's coming off of the ACL injury, and you never know how that was going to go for him. I mean, of course, he's a force with his bat, but defensively, he's a secret weapon, kind of like Aaron Judge. A lot of people don't realize what Aaron Judge is defensively. They just see what he does offensively, but he's huge for the Yankees defensively, and that's what Acuna is for the Braves. He's huge defensively, so he's made some great plays, but offensively, he's batting a 325, 15 home runs, and 45 RBI, so he is making a great case so far for the National League MVP. And then, of course, Spencer Strider, he's having his great season as well with 7 wins, a 4.12 ERA, which isn't that great, but hey, he's got 127 strikeouts on the season, still leads the league in strikeouts. And the Braves, they are just on fire right now. And if the Rays keep cooling off and the Braves keep moving at their pace, we might be having a new number 1 here pretty soon. But it doesn't really matter anyways because the Braves are just the best team in the league, hands down anyways. Then at number 3 on my Trop 10 MLB Power Rankings, the Baltimore Orioles. Overall record of 44-27. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. This past week they took the series against the Toronto Blue Jays, but lost the series to the Chicago Cubs. And they're still just getting it done. And Adley Rutschman, he's having a great season, batting at 280 with 10 home runs and 32 RBI. And it's just hard to explain what the Orioles are doing, but they've maintained their dominance so far. And here they are at number 3 on the Trop 10 MLB Power Rankings. Then at number 4 on my Trop 10 MLB Power Rankings, another team that I still can't believe we're talking about is the Arizona Diamondbacks. Overall record of 43-29, still in first place in the National League West. They're just right there behind the Braves, as a matter of fact, in the National League. They're 6-4 in their last 10 games. They did lose a series to the Philadelphia Phillies, but they did take a series against the Cleveland Guardians. Corbin Carroll has just been having a phenomenal season, batting 305, 15 home runs and 38 RBI. The 15 home runs and 38 RBI leads his team right now. And then Zach Gallen has now got back on track with his 8 wins. 100 strikeouts and a 2.96 ERA right now. So the Diamondbacks, I can't believe we're still talking about them, and it looks like we might be talking about them for the rest of the season because they have not cooled off. As a matter of fact, they just keep getting better, and it's really hard to explain both them and the Orioles because at least I didn't expect them to be playing this well. Especially the Diamondbacks. I figured the Diamondbacks were going to be one of the worst teams in the league, and here they are at number 4. I can't believe it, but they are dominating the National League West right now. Then at number 5 on my Trop 10 MLB Power Rankings, another team that is surging, the Los Angeles Angels. Overall record of 41-33. They are 7-3 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took a series against the Texas Rangers and swept the Kansas City Royals. And who do you think I'm going to talk about? Of course, I'm going to talk about Shohei Ohtani. The guy has been on fire this past week. And I mean, listen to this stat line. Batting a 300. With 24 home runs, which leads the league right now. And then he's also got 58 RBI, which leads the league right now. Then you turn it over to the pitching side of things with 6 wins, a 3.29 ERA, and 105 strikeouts, which is top 5 in the league. So this dude right now, he not only is dominating with the bat, and I mean dominating. If you go look at the Angels website when I take a look at the stats and just kind of gauge what I'm doing with my power rankings and get some talking points, the only thing you see for stat lines is Ohtani just dominates every single stat line for the Angels as a whole. So obviously he's the MVP just with that alone. But I mean, it's just crazy that not only is he leading the league in home runs, RBI, but he's also top 5 in strikeouts right now. And he's on fire both with offensively and defensively right now, and he just can't be stopped. And it's something crazy, and the Angels are getting hot at the right time. But Ohtani has just been so fun to watch this season, and just such an amazing domination. And I hope him and the Angels are able to keep it up because, like I continue to say, we need to see this guy in the postseason. We need to see what he's got there because he's just so fun to watch and just an excellent player. especially just for the sport of baseball. He's just a great addition to the sport of baseball. Then at number 6 on my Trop 10 MLB Power Rankings, the Philadelphia Phillies. Overall record of 38-34. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. This past week, they took a series against the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Oakland A's, and they're starting to surge now. They're basically doing what they did at the end of last year when they went on their second half run, and then they made a nice playoff run, and then went all the way on to the World Series, which they would ultimately lose in the end, but. Right now, they're getting it going a little bit earlier now this season. And then Kyle Schwarber, he's been quiet to start the season, but now he is back on track. He's got 20 home runs and 41 RBI. And then Nick Castellanos, he's also had a solid season so far, batting a .315 with 8 home runs and 42 RBI. By the way, Schwarber, he has 20 home runs, which of course leads the team, and then second behind him is Castellanos with 8. So that's how Schwarber is raking it in right now. Like I said, he started off kind of quiet, but now here he is back to knocking them out of the park, like he was meant to do. And then of course Zach Wheeler, their starting pitcher, he's getting it going. He kind of started off the season a little bit shaky, but he seems to be getting back to his old self. And the Phillies starting to surge, and they need to, because the Braves got a huge lead on them in the division. But the Phillies are still a rock solid team, and they're going to be a difficult team for any team to take down. And they're surging right now. Then at number 7 on my Trop 10 MLB Power Rankings, another division rival of the Phillies and the Braves. That would be the Miami Marlins, playing really solid baseball right now. They are 41-31. On the season, 7-3 in their last 10 games. This past week, they lost the series to the Seattle Mariners, but then they swept the Washington Nationals, and they are just getting it from all angles as well. Jesus Luzardo is shockingly their ace pitcher at the moment. I mean, you would think it's got to be Alcantara, who had his Cy Young season last year, and Alcantara has actually had a very bad season so far. Whereas Luzardo, he's got the 6 wins, a 4.9 ERA, and then 94 strikeouts on the season. So he's just leading the team right now with the pitching. And then Jorge Soler, he's knocking them out the park with 20 home runs and 42 RBI. He leads the team in both of those categories. But the Marlins, they've been pretty solid the last month, and who knows if it's going to last, because they're just one of those streaky teams. But right now they're playing pretty damn good baseball. Then at number 8 on my Trop 10 MLB Power Rankings, a team that's taken a little bit of a tumble this week would be the Texas Rangers. Overall record of 44-27, and they are 4-6 in their last 10 games, which is why they've taken this tumble in the Power Rankings. I still think they're overall a really good team, but they do have a lot to prove. But they are raking it in. This past week, they lost a series to the Angels, but then won a series against the Blue Jays. And right now, they are just getting it done offensively. They lead the league in runs with 434 runs, and then they lead the league in batting average, averaging a .272 batting average. So they're really getting it done offensively. And then, of course, you've got Nathan Eovaldi, who's just having this total resurgence in his career with the Texas Rangers. He's got 9 wins on the season, .259 ERA, and 92 strikeouts. He's almost hitting that 100 strikeout plateau. And that's a big deal at the midway point in the season, especially for a guy like Eovaldi, who was really not expected to be the workhorse he's been. But so far, he's actually been the ace of this squad. And while the Rangers have taken a tumble, I still think they're a pretty good team, and they're going to be making noise all season long. Then at number 9 on my Trop 10 MLB Power Rankings, my San Francisco Giants. I finally get to talk about them. I don't think it's going to last, because I really don't think we're that good of a team. We're still missing like a star player, and we just keep getting injured, and we just don't look that solid as a team overall. But hey, right now, their record overall is 39-32, and they are on a 7-game winning streak right now, 8-2 in their last 10 games. So I'm pretty excited that I'm actually finally getting to see them put together some nice wins here. This past week, they took the series against the St. Louis Cardinals and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Like I said, swept both of them. But it was straight domination against the Dodgers. It was really, really shocking to watch how bad we dominated them in LA nonetheless. So I'll take it. And the real standout so far this year offensively has been J.D. Davis. He's batting a 288 with 10 home runs and 40 RBI. And he's leading the team with the 40 RBI right now in that category. And he's really just been raking it in. He actually hit a grand slam against the Dodgers over the weekend. So he had a huge weekend. And then Webb, he is finally starting to get it going with the pitching. He started off the season pretty quiet and pretty shaky, but now he's got 6 wins with a 3.11 ERA and 96 strikeouts on the season. So he's really starting to get it going. I mean, I really wouldn't say it's been all his fault when he pitches. He has been blown up in a couple of games, but then there's been other games where just the offense hasn't backed him up and he's just got the loss because that's just the way it works. But I mean, right now I'm happy with what I see with the Giants. But like I said, they still need a big time star to make the difference, whether it's a pitcher or a hitter. They just need somebody to start building the team around because we do have a lot of good role players. We've got a lot of young, decent guys like this J.D. Davis guy. I think he's got a bright future with the Giants, I believe. And then of course Webb, he's always been a very solid, reliable guy, even though he's had a down season. But we've got a lot of good core guys. It's just we're missing that superstar who's going to take us over the edge. But hey, I'll take a sweep against the Dodgers. We're in second place in the division right now, so I'm pretty stoked on that. But I'm not expecting any miracles come postseason with the Giants this year. But I will take the 7-game winning streak. And then rounding out my Tropp 10 MLB Power Rankings, a team that I thought was going to be one of the worst in the league, and they actually started out as one of the worst in the league, but it's really crazy to see the turnaround this team has made since they made the call-up of their young rookie from the minor leagues, and that would be the Cincinnati Reds. Right now, overall record of 37-35, and they have the longest winning streak in the league right now with 8 wins in a row. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. This past weekend, they swept the Kansas City Royals, and then they swept the Houston Astros as well. And like I said, they called up Elly De La Cruz, and ever since they called him up, this team has been on fire. Offensively, defensively, they're getting it done with the pitching. And it's funny, too, because like I said, they went from earlier in the season setting a record low on attendance at their stadium to now it's starting to get full again. And it's really just a crazy turnaround just with what happened with one player. And so that's what I mean with the Giants. They need like that one player. They have a bunch of young dudes, but they need that one big guy to turn it around. And Elly De La Cruz has really done that for the Reds. Spencer Steer is also having an amazing season, batting at 277 with 10 home runs and 39 RBI. And they've got this closer Green, who's just been really locking it down. He's got 100 strikeouts on the season. So the Reds are looking pretty solid right now. Like I said, I'm super shocked that I'm even discussing them right now outside of when Elly De La Cruz made his debut, but I did not expect this type of turnaround. Now, I don't expect the Reds to be some playoff contention team this season, but they definitely have made things interesting thus far, and we'll see what they've got the rest of the season, but I did not expect to be talking about them at all in a positive way. And here they are, rounding out the Tropp 10 MLB Power Rankings for this week. And then we have a little bit of NBA news that broke over the last couple of days. Bradley Beal, it's been rumored that he's going to get traded at some point from the Washington Wizards, and that finally happened yesterday. He has been traded to the Phoenix Suns, and the Suns are sending a bunch of players over, but including Chris Paul. Because it's also been rumored that Chris Paul was either going to get traded or released from the Phoenix Suns. And it's sounding like that the Washington Wizards are probably going to do the same. It doesn't look like he's going to stay with them. They're either going to release him or trade him away somewhere. So we'll see what happens with Chris Paul. But Bradley Beal, he has moved on to Phoenix. And, this definitely doesn't make them better defensively, which is really a big problem for them, but I think they're definitely going to be scoring people out of the building, that's for sure, with Durant and Booker, and now Bradley Beal in the mix here. They're definitely going to be injury prone as they are, but when you've got three guys who could score, but they're injury prone, you're hoping that if Beal's out, then Durant and Booker are in. If Durant's out, Beal and Booker are in. This, like I said, this does not help them out on the defensive side of things because Beal is not known as a defender. But it definitely gives them a lot of firepower, and I don't think it puts them over the edge in championship talk, but it definitely makes the Phoenix Suns a very interesting team next year. And then Draymond Green has declined his option on his contract this season, so he's going to be an unrestricted free agent this year. So basically that means he's going to be able to test the waters. If somebody offers him a contract that he likes, then the Golden State Warriors will actually have a chance to either match it or just let him go. So we'll see what happens there. It's going to be weird if he does end up going somewhere because, we've been used to Draymond being in a Golden State Warriors uniform. He's been the backbone of this team. He's been just the asshole that you need to win championships. And so he's been a huge force in this dynasty. But it looks like it's a possibility that he could actually end up going somewhere else. But it still looks like that there's a good shot that he's going to be back with the Golden State Warriors. But if he's not, we'll see where he ends up. And whoever gets him is going to be getting a solid defender, if anything, and a good solid piece. If you're like a team that's kind of on the outs there, that's like just missing like maybe the Miami Heat, for example. The Miami Heat were missing that extra bit of defense, that extra guy in the middle to take on a Jokic, or guard a Murray, or knock him down and maybe get suspended for a game or something like that. But I feel like Draymond is that type of guy where he's going to, if he goes to the right situation, he's definitely going to be a huge piece to a team that definitely needs some help defensively, and a guy who's going to get in the paint and get grimy and get dirty and do the fucked up shit that you need to do to win a championship. So we'll see what happens with both him and Chris Paul in the offseason. And then now that the NBA Finals are complete, on Thursday we have the NBA Draft. And so, of course, this year was all about Wembanyama, who's probably going to be going to the San Antonio Spurs, who have the first overall pick. But let's see how the rest of the draft has shaped out. So like I said, at number 1, the San Antonio Spurs more than likely are taking Wembanyama. I don't know why they wouldn't take him. He's obviously the top pick in the draft. But after that, we've got number 2, we've got the Charlotte Hornets, who, are now going to be sold to a new owner. Michael Jordan will no longer be that owner, so that's going to be interesting there. Then at number 3, we have the Portland Trail Blazers. Number 4, the Houston Rockets. The number 5, the Detroit Pistons. Number 6, Orlando Magic. Number 7, Indiana Pacers. Number 8, Washington Wizards. Number 9, Utah Jazz. Number 10, Dallas Mavericks. Number 11, Orlando Magic. They got that from the Chicago Bulls. Number 12, Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 13, Toronto Raptors. Number 14, New Orleans Pelicans. Number 15, Atlanta Hawks. Number 16, Utah Jazz. They got that from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 17, Los Angeles Lakers, which I'm excited about because it feels like it's been a century since the Los Angeles Lakers have even picked a first-round pick. I know it hasn't been that long, but it just feels like it's been forever and a fucking day since the Lakers have even picked the first-round pick. And yeah, I know 17's not that great, but we need to get some young blood on this team. And I hope we do not trade it away unless we are trading up for some player that I don't know that we're working on. But I'm just excited that I actually have something to watch in the draft on Thursday night because the last couple of years I haven't had shit to watch because the Lakers haven't even had like second-round picks, let alone first-round picks. So it's going to be nice to actually watch the draft this year and be like, oh my God, the Lakers have a pick. At least as of today, they have a pick. You never know what's going to happen in the days leading up to the draft because, that's why we have the trades that we do, like with Bradley Beal and big-name players, just because some teams want to move up, some teams want to move down, and you've got the draft capital to get some players headed your way. So we'll see what happens in the next few days. But as of right now, I'm excited because I actually get to watch the draft and see the Lakers pick a first-round pick this year. Then at number 18, the Miami Heat. Number 19, Golden State Warriors. Number 20, Houston Rockets. They got that from the LA Clippers. Number 21, Brooklyn Nets. They got that from the Phoenix Suns. Number 22, the Brooklyn Nets. Number 23, Portland Trailblazers. They got that from the New York Knicks. 24, Sacramento Kings. 25, Memphis Grizzlies. 26, Indiana Pacers. Got that from the Cleveland Cavaliers. 27, Charlotte Hornets. They got that from basically a long bunch of teams from Denver to New York and Oklahoma City. So multiple teams had that spot. Then at number 28, the Utah Jazz. They got that one from Philadelphia via Brooklyn. Number 29, Indiana Pacers got that one from Boston. And then rounding out the first round at number 30, we have the LA Clippers who got that from Houston. So that's the NBA draft is going to be on Thursday night. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, there's going to be no surprises at number 1 with the San Antonio Spurs picking Wembanyama, but you never know. I would love it if somehow the Lakers would just trade up and get him, but I don't think the Spurs have any interest in getting rid of Wembanyama, and I'm sure they want to build around him, but beyond him, it's going to be interesting to see who else we have in this year's draft, and it's going to be interesting to see how it shapes up. But like I said, I'm excited because I finally get to see the Lakers pick in the first round. Watch, once I'm done recording this episode, they'll have traded their first round pick just to piss me off, and I'll have nothing to watch on Thursday. But as of right now, the Lakers have the 17th overall pick, and I'm fucking excited about that. So enjoy the week of baseball and enjoy the NBA draft, and I will talk to you fools on Friday.